Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope my voice is coming through nice and clear to the audience, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Some good news, brothers and sisters. I'm actually hoping that I'm kind of like recovering from my illness. The doctor did say that, alhamdulillah, I've still got a couple of more days for some more medicine to kind of like kick in. So unfortunately, even though I'm actually sitting in my gym here, I just get to tidy the gym up and stuff. And yeah, I'm just kind of like keeping my mind and body kind of like still kind of like focused, because not able to train and so forth is kind of like really affecting my mental well-being, which is another topic, guys. Today's topic is going to be really interesting, and the topic today, guys, we had some really good interaction yesterday, and the sisters kind of like inspired me to pick this topic. Does gender roles, do they really mean anything in society and within a relationship? I would love to get some feedback from the brothers and sisters. So, guys, yeah, feel free to jump on. The topic, brother, here is wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah to the brothers and sisters in the audience. Nice to see you all. So, the topic, the interesting topic, do gender roles really matter? So, alhamdulillah, this is also going live on our Brother Friendly Muslims channel. Also consider this TV network. Brother Kenny Boma, and mashallah, I think he's wrote some books regarding this particular topic, so check out Brother Kenny Boma on Amazon, and also is going live on my channel, of course, CovFF channel. So guys, yeah, do the gender roles, do they actually really mean anything living in the society and the era we're in now? Do you guys think they mean anything? I'm going to put the link in the chat. I really want to get some interaction today and some point of views. Do they? Okay, this is interesting. MashaAllah, may Allah, brothers and sisters, please make a supplication for our Sheikh, Sheikh Jamal in Qatar. He's not feeling too well. But it'd be nice to have him on, maybe even like a voice or audio or anything. Feel free to jump on and share your thoughts on this interesting topic. Sheikh Jamal is a very interesting topic, as you can see. Do they matter in Islam or in a bit of both, brother? This is very interesting, this question here. Do you think in society now, because of course the majority of the Muslims here now are living in a non-Muslim environment, and we try to attain, or we try to continue with the morals and the Islamic structure of the family. So, do you think it matters? And your experiences growing up, in a family where, the father figure was quite dominant. So, your aspects and your thoughts, and what's your makeup, meaning your makeup in your mental capabilities and physical capabilities also of having like a dominant status in your family. So yeah, it's to be honest, it's a quite controversial topic. I'm fully aware. May Allah make it easy for our Sheikh, mashallah, subhanallah. Yeah, our Sheikh's got COVID, subhanallah. Sheikh Jamal, I'm also just recovering from my illness. I had like a kidney infection, and I'm still on my way to recovery myself. A couple of more days or maybe weeks. On the 11th of next month, I've got a scan coming up, so they can see if my kidneys are working, inshallah, properly and how they should be. But make dua for me, brothers and sisters, and make dua for all our brothers around the world who are going through trials and tribulations. May Allah make it easy for all of us and them. Ameen. So yeah, the link is in the chat. Yeah, I've just wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. I will just check it right now, brother. So yeah, guys, this is the topic. Feel free to jump on. The link is in the chat. I just want to get some different points of views. After listening to the sisters yesterday, they were talking about, and they were quite interactive, alhamdulillah. And one thing I do notice, mashallah, the sisters, when it comes to dawah, I actually think they're highly motivated and they're more interactive. Ameen. Yeah, so guys, come on, jump on, don't be shy. And come on, it's a controversial topic. I know it is. So let's get some interaction. So I'll give you a personal story about myself. Like, I was raised up within an environment where I was raised with my grandparents, and my grandfather was definitely like a dominant figure within the household, and I think he influenced the way I was kind of like not manufactured but molded. So a lot of people do say I have some of the traits of my grandfather, and I actually think that has benefited me a lot. And my grandfather, guys, one thing I want to share with you, that my grandfather used to teach me how to play drafts. I think they call it checkers in other countries, right? Where you have the board and you have the round little discs, and I think it's called checkers or drafts in some countries. And at an early age, he used to teach me how to play drafts. And he used to tell me that sometimes you got to sacrifice something to win the whole game. And he used to teach me how to play drafts or checkers, he used to actually talk to me about, how to prepare yourself as you get older, and, never give up and so forth, and always look at the whole picture. So when you're going to play drafts or checkers, look at the board before you make the next move. Don't rush into, making moves. Look at the whole picture. So guys, yeah, come on guys, jump on, and inshallah ta'ala we have a fruitful discussion, inshallah. Brother Joe, I'm just going to check my Twitter now, bear with me, akhi. Okay, you sent me a link. Okay. Muslim feminist divines misconstructed of Islamic. Okay, I'll check it out later on, inshallah. Definitely. Thank you for that, Joe Baz. So yeah, so it is a very controversial topic, especially with some major figures, as we're aware of, who actually talk about gender roles and stuff, and how much Islam still has that particular fixture within the household. Guys, I just want to ask a question. When like a postman or so forth knocks your door, for example, do you let your wife open the door, or do you actually go down and open the door? I just want to, just as a very basic question, and I just want to understand the thought process. Are you happy for your wife to entertain male guests? For example, if your friend turns up and you're upstairs, for example, and do you let your wife open the door, even though this particular man is a non-mahram to your wife? I can understand if it's your brother or her brother or so forth, a relative, then not a problem. But if your friends turn up, are you happy for your wife to open the door and interact with your friend? So, Brother Jamal, what's your thought on that? I know you, mashallah, you live in a Muslim country, alhamdulillah. What is the situation there when it comes to the male and female status? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Vero Docs, nice to have you here. So yeah, guys, feel free. The link is in the chat. I'm just going to pin the link in the chat now. I've just pinned it. So guys, feel free to jump on. And also, I just want to ask a question. Also, like, you know, as I love to get like a female's point of view on this. Would you rather have your man or your husband defend you in a particular situation, or would are you one of these females who just like will just ask your husband to calm down or walk away from a difficult situation? For example, myself, couple of weeks ago, I was in a store, and the fact that my wife wears niqab and so forth, you know, these European men kind of like were like mocking her for the way my wife was dressed, and I was, you know, one of these persons who, you know, might be old in age and so forth, but I was willing to, like, you know, stand there and get physically, you know, aggressive towards these European men, and as and I just want to understand the thought process of some of our sisters. You know, what is our role as men? So yeah, guys, come on, jump on, don't be shy. I'm assuming maybe some of your brothers and sisters are actually at work, so maybe you can't actually join the stream. But do gender roles do they really mean anything today? Is it the role of the man to actually provide, and is it still the role of the woman to educate and guard the home and guard and educate the children? Or are you one of these men who actually is happy for your wife to go out and work in an environment that is really non-Islamic, or it's like a mixed environment? So these are very challenging questions, guys. Yeah, I definitely agree with this, Brother Jamal. But unfortunately, we see now amongst the Muslims that we have kind of like let our guard down, where we're quite happy for our wives to mix and so forth. And we see on social media so much imagery of like women with hijabs dancing and you know, and in concerts, music concerts, you know, imitating. And men are just there watching, you know, where are they, you know, what's going on? And, you know, what is our role as men now within the society? Are we too busy, like, with financial gains and attaining a nice house, attaining a nice car, you know, looking, dressing in a particular way? Have we kind of like lost our role? Well, this is very true, Brother Jamal. I think now, I think if I go, when I go to Speaker's Corner, especially in Edgware Road, you know, majority of the people there are all Muslims, and they're wearing hijabs and they're wearing niqab, and the brothers are, you know, with the forbes and the beards and stuff. I think time has definitely changed a lot. I definitely think that. I really would like Brother Kenny Burma, if he was available, and I think he's working right now. Uh, he'll be like one of the perfect persons to talk about this. Brother Jamal, do you think, Brother Jamal, that men should be more like the alpha male, meaning that they should take control of the house and the finances and so forth? And I actually think this particular status should stay with the man. You know, it doesn't matter how old the man is. If he's married and he's got children, I think this particular mentality should stay with that man until he's, you know, alive. I think even like my grandfather, even at the age of 80 and 90, rahimullah, he was still quite a dominant figure within the household. And I think, unfortunately, the men now, they kind of are losing that, especially the young brothers. I think they definitely are using that particular uh, influence within the household. So, guys, the link is in the chat. Come on and join me, inshallah. Yeah, I definitely think it's our role. Do you think, Brother Jamal, that unfortunately social media and other outlets are kind of like trimming down the role of the man? Do you think that's the situation? I do feel that sometimes we let our children. Technology is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, guys. But I think sometimes we give our children too much time with social media and technology, and I think they are highly influenced with that. There's no doubt with that, guys. I definitely think that the way I was raised and my older children were raised, they were they're completely different to my younger three children. You can see the life experiences, uh, the way they are molded is totally different compared to my younger three children. And there was a big gap between my oldest children and my youngest children, maybe 15 to 20 years gap of age gap between my older children and my three younger children. Wow, that's interesting, Brother Jamal. Yeah, guys, that's mashallah quite controversial, but I definitely agree with it. There are some situations, Brother Jamal, that when a man is like, gets elderly, he gets old and so forth. Yeah, then I think it's the role of maybe the oldest son or the oldest child to kind of like step up. But at the same time, the honor and respect is given to the parents, no doubt. I definitely agree with this, subhanallah. I definitely think that sometimes, men, or I'd say real men, will learn from their negative experiences and try not to make the same mistake twice. I think, unfortunately, some men make the same mistake twice, and this is quite sad. But guys, brother 187, feel free to jump on. The link is in the chat. I know who you are. You don't have to put your camera on, so feel free to jump on. That's a very interesting point, mashallah. Yeah, what the work yeah, it's a good point. But the brother Jamal was trying to say, yeah, definitely, I understand the both points of view. But yeah, when a man has some type of illness and so forth, then yeah, definitely, then of course he still has his uh, presence felt within the household. If I'm like, for example, I've been ill for a couple of weeks, but still, alhamdulillah, I still had that type of presence within my house. I still had a major say. And I always advise my children to take up, the mantelpiece, because I talk about death a lot to my children, especially my younger children. My youngest children are from the age of 13 till my youngest one is 4, and I have one child in between. He's 11. And I definitely tell them and talk to them about death and about my departing and how they should react when it comes to dealing with their mother and how important their mother is within the household structure. I always tell them to listen to their mum first within the house. I actually tell their mum all the time that they should obey their mum first when it comes to within the house and dealing with household issues. And right, mashallah, brother Ryan. Yeah, mashallah. That's a bit easier, alhamdulillah. That's alhamdulillah. I'll remember that, bi'iznillah. Jazakumullah khair, akhi. But yeah, this is the topic, guys. Feel free to jump on. And yesterday we had some sisters in the chat, and hopefully we can get some point of views, uh, get some suggestions from the sisters, inshallah. So do you think that the tide is turning in the sense that we've had enough of the men being like too soft and timid, that they don't seem to stand up anymore? Or do you think we still have hope that our sons and our future, the men will stand up and not be weak in dealing with difficult situations? Hi, Hindsight. Nice to have you here. Hindsight, mashallah, it's nice to see you here. Hindsight, do you think gender roles, do they really mean anything anymore? That's good. You know, that's excellent. If you're possible, Hindsight, feel free to come on. This is not a religious kind of like a topic. It could turn towards that, but I'm trying to like think outside the box. Feel free to jump on, Hindsight. The link is in the chat. So yeah, guys, do you think gender roles really mean anything? God, it's such a interesting question. Okay, take your time, Hindsight, no rush. But it'd be great to hear your point of view. And I think in different parts in the States, I think men are still men. And unfortunately, I think within city life and the hustle and bustle, I don't know. I'd love to get your point of view on that. I think is the way you're raised definitely plays a huge factor in how you are within the family structure. I know, according to Islam, that the man's role is to be the guardian and provide for his wife and his children. And the role of the wife is to basically protect and guard herself and her husband's wealth, which is very, very important. And I actually think living in the society we're living now, I can see it being chiseled away. I can see the men, unfortunately, they're not fighting men. I don't know if this makes any sense. Some of the men I see, I don't think they could, if they had to defend their spouse, their wife, or their children. I think they would find that very difficult. I'm not saying every man should be like like a Rambo or a Jet Li or a Bruce Lee or anything like that. But I think men should be men, and to be able to look after themselves and their family. Okay, we've got brother 187 joining us. Big mashallah, nice. Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing?
Walaikum salam. I'm good. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, brother. Nice to have you on the platform. And inshallah, what's your take on this particular topic, brother? I don't know what's your background. I can see a Pakistani flag or logo on your thumbnail, and I don't know what kind of environment you grew up as a child, and did that take uh, did your growing up influence you a lot? Brother, can you hear me? I can't hear you, brother. I think we just lost your sound. MashaAllah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, we've got a very interesting topic, and I don't know what's your take. I don't know if Sister Salika missed some of it at the beginning. We're talking about the gender roles within society. I don't know how old our sister is, so I'm trying to figure out that do a man, an alpha man, or somebody, a male who can defend themselves within society, does that really mean anything in the current times we're living in? And I was mentioning earlier, which is a quite controversial topic, you know, just in the society I live in, a lot of the men, if they had to defend themselves, I don't think, I'm not about Muslim men, guys, I don't think they will be able to defend themselves if their wife was or child was going to be attacked, or if themselves were going to be, unfortunately, attacked. I think the men are too much into the financial gains, and I think they're too busy establishing some type of financial stability for the family. Yeah, I can hear you now, brother. Alhamdulillah. You keep going in and out, brother. I can't hear you now. Okay, inshallah, maybe he'll come back and join us, inshallah. This is a quite controversial topic. Do these roles matter? So, for example, I was just saying a couple of weeks ago, I was in a local store, and some European men said something regarding my wife, and she wears like a niqab and so forth. And even though I'm in the age of in the above the 50s, I was still willing to stand there and defend and fight, get physical if necessary. So I actually stood there with the shopping bags in my hands, and I kind of like turned around and I looked at them, and I was willing to drop the bags and get physical within the store. And my wife kind of like whispered to me and said, "Look, just go." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna deal with this. If they want to say something, they've got to say it and say it out loud, so I can hear it and I can get physical. And I don't care if there's two or three or one of them. They have to apologize for what they say. If not, then it's going to get nasty." Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. MashaAllah. Excellent.
Oh, finally. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe YouTube couldn't take my masculinity.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Definitely. I think it's a controversial topic, definitely, brother. And I think we're losing this. And the sister asked, what did they say to her wife? They just kind of like, they were saying something but laughing. I was 100% to what they were saying to my wife. This is a couple of weeks ago. But they were like looking at my wife and laughing, because she wears niqab and so forth. And I had like shopping bags, and I don't let my wife carry the shopping bags. This is how kind of like I wouldn't say dominant I am, but this is kind of like the mentality I have. I like to carry the heavy stuff, and or carry the shopping bags, and I still have this mentality where I open the door for my wife and so forth, the car door and stuff, and and this is the way I was raised. And is it? Do you think my wife should open the door for me? I don't know, brother. It's an interesting topic. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think there is a confusion because we being in the Western world, the women, here have a different upbringing than to, for example, the kind of households we grew up in. We saw our mothers and we saw our sisters, the way they were. I mean, it's completely different to a lot of the I don't want to make it like anti-Western or anything, but the actual culture of it is very, very different. So they might see it as like you're trying to I don't know what's the word for it, that you're trying to be more like their father instead of being the husband. If you were to open the door, or if you were to take the shopping to the car, or and they see it as if like you're thinking of them as weak, but it's actually the men, the real manliness is being respectful towards the women. And we Muslim men always get this image in media that we are very we try to dominate the women and all that sort of stuff, but realistically you would understand that it's completely the opposite. We actually try to over facilitate our women. We do everything out of respect, and but for some reason they see it as if we are trying to dominate. um, um, so yeah, I mean, also if you look at many cultures that have kept to their roots, they're very successful. They have, in terms of nuclear families, and the men, they go out to work, they have healthy relationships, they have friendships. But we see that lack in the Western world. There isn't much of healthy, manly relationships, like friendships amongst men. There is that divide, um, and I think we if we go away from the given natural gender roles that we are given, I mean, it can invite a lot of trouble.
Hmm. You know what, brother? I just had an instant, like I was just, this topic came in my mind just because the postman came and dropped off a parcel, yeah, and my wife said to me, "It's a man at the door. Can you go and answer it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I went down and and do, and of course, and I like that. And that's my job, you know what I mean? And I don't want any other, male looking at my wife in a
Of
particular
course.
way or anything like that, and I don't know, do men still do this? For example, do other men, are they quite happy for their women to open to it for their wives or whatever, or their daughters to be slightly uncovered? Like I know you're within the household, you can dress how you want to dress, but are they still comfortable of opening the door and revealing themselves to somebody who's not related to them? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does this still
Yeah.
happen, or as men, as Muslim men, or as men in general, are we still happy for? Are we still comfortable? For example, I'm upstairs. You know what, Mrs. You go and open the door. I can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the woman's like, yeah, but come on, I'm not fully. Do you want me? Do you want that man to see me in this particular way? And that man's got no haya. He's got no
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Brother Mustafa, feel free to jump on. It's a very interesting topic we're talking, inshallah, and it's good to see you, and hopefully we can link up anytime this week. We're definitely going to set something up for a future podcast with our brother Mustafa. So, yeah, it's sister just mentioned there, the shame aspect. Another thing is, brother, and I'm not saying every male should be like a Khabib or anything like that at all. But most men I see, unfortunately, today is that if they had to get into a physical altercation with somebody, they wouldn't be able to defend themselves. Not because they haven't got the skills or they haven't got the training or anything, just that they don't look after themselves. And I'm thinking when I go to the local stores, brother, and I do this a lot, and I always look at people when they buy stuff and shop and stuff, look at their trolley and see what's inside, see what they're buying and stuff. You know what I mean? I guess it's a natural thing because I did psychology when I was younger, back in the days.
Yeah.
And I look at the man, and the man's pushing the trolley, and you can see, he's wearing a tight t-shirt, but unfortunately his belly's bulging out more than his chest. The wife's, picking the stuff, and And I'm thinking, because I was in this situation weeks ago where somebody said something to my wife, and
Oh,
I'm not saying I'm a Khabib or anything like that at all, far from it, but I'm quite comfortable of. I think this is the benefits of knowing some type of self-defense is that you've got this extra shield, or you've got this extra. Uh, you've got a good toolkit to do with situations. You know
were
what I
you
mean?
present? Sorry, were you present at the scene
Yeah,
or?
yeah, I was there, brother. I was there.
Oh,
And
okay.
even though I was carrying two shopping bags, and I was quite happy. I turned around and I looked at them, and I said, "Yeah, what?" And they said something in a foreign language. Do you know what I mean? And
Ah,
and my wife was like pulling my thorb, my sleeve, and my thorb, and saying, "Come on, let's go." I go, "No, I'm not going to take this." I use
yeah,
some language. You know what I mean?
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
I get fired up quickly. I go, "I'm not going to take this S word." Do you know what I mean? And she
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Don't worry." And then the ladies at the till who were serving, they said, because I go there regularly, they said, "We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. We'll buy them from the shop." The security man turned up, and I explained to him what happened. And he goes, "Okay, we take note of that, and we got them on CCTV." The fact that they didn't physically do anything, we really can't kind of like, call the police or take further action. But and that's it. And I actually was sat in the car, and I put the shopping in my car, I opened the door for my wife. She sat inside. I still carried on standing by the car. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I can physically see who they are and where they're going, and maybe what car they're going to enter. Maybe in the
Yeah,
future,
I can imagine. Yeah,
yeah, if I recognize that car when in the future and these two
it's
males,
on.
and maybe then it's in a different situation. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean that's another thing. It's like when men are told to, for example, not send the women out there by themselves. This proves that there is wisdom behind this sort of ruling. It's not like we're not safe with we are insecure or anything. Because women do face a lot of trouble when they're by themselves. And you always see, especially in a society where there is alcohol and drugs and that sort of stuff, and um, so it only proves our point that women should go out with their husband or a mahram, or they should always be attended to, as in case of any situation that it's like this one time I was at this kebab shop at like in the night,
mm,
and I was just buying a kebab, and this girl came in by herself. It was late night, it was like really late, and she was ordering food, and then two guys came in, and they looked like they worked out and all of that, and I think they were clearly drunk. I could smell the alcohol on them,
mm,
and they started talking to amongst each other. They started making jokes and this that. They said, "Oh, like I can lift this much weight and I can lift this much weight."
mm,
They were just going back and forth,
mm.
and one of them turned around. He actually picked this girl up, and he was like,
Okay.
"Look at me! I can do shoulder
Mm,
reps with her." Like he's
mm,
doing that in the shop, and I'm looking at him.
mm.
And they had no regard to anything because they knew it was there wasn't many people around, so they thought they could just do whatever to this girl. So
Okay,
I
this is
I
this this is
yeah.
interesting, and I get really passionate when I got a habit of cutting people because I get really passionate because I've been through so many experiences uh, within my life to kind of like deal with difficult situations. Like for example, I've got a military background. I was in the military for about 15 to 16 years, and I've traveled around the world. I've dealt with difficult situations, and I've dealt with the British Army and how the drunken behaviour, and I've seen how British soldiers act when they're drunk, and because I was in
Oh,
that kind of environment, unfortunately. But if that was your sister and your mother, okay, being picked up, physically picked up,
physically, yeah.
what would you do, Achi?
Oh, mate. It's if I were to see something like that, I would probably I'll probably go mad. Like I probably wouldn't be able to speak. I'll just go straight into action. And,
So,
or if my sister came back and told me that someone's done that to me, I probably wouldn't be able to sleep. I would lose my sleep for a few days. And I'll be out there hunting for them. You know what I mean? So, uh, yeah, and it's there is wisdom behind Islamic code of conduct, and it's not like we're not trying to dominate women or trying to belittle them. In fact, we are trying to, the Islamic code is more of I know you said it's not a religious discussion, but it turned into one. But so yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and and especially also going on to saying that men shouldn't feel jealous or any. I think bit of jealousy is a healthy trait to have for a man. And when they say, "Oh, we're not jealous, we are okay with it," and this, that, okay, well, let me see your wife talk to another man and joke for good 10, 15 minutes. Let's see how you feel about it.
so you just touched on something very, very important, brother. I think jealousy and honor.
Yeah,
For example, honor is like me. I'm not a jealous person at all. Being prior to me practicing my religion,
yeah,
unfortunately, I don't want to go into detail, but yeah, I was never a jealous young teenager, for
yeah,
example.
yeah,
But one thing I do realize that I have a lot of honor, meaning that me, it's an honor thing. Like, for example, I've got pride. I'm proud of my family and the way I raise my family. And I'm proud that my wife don't interact with anybody. My daughters
yeah.
don't interact with any, individuals. And do you think that society is do you think the man, the father is, or the alpha male is being lost and being killed away? Meaning, do you think that the situation is that we're losing this honor and being proud of our status as men? Do you think we're losing that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there is a direct attack on this sort of um, uh, honorable men. There's definitely attack on directly to make men more into a bunch of wimps, like where you're okay with your wife and you got a bunch of guys sitting next to you, and they're inviting people over, and it's like mixed gatherings. They want you to be okay, and they always try to say, oh, you're so backward, and if your culture is this and your religion is that. They're constantly trying to attack it. But I think the younger generation now, they are more and more, because you see even non-Muslims, they like the famous YouTubers like Andrew Tate and all these other guys. Not that we need any validation from them, but you see them openly appreciating the fact that Muslim men have stuck to their roots, and they've faced up to any nonsense that this liberal media has pushed out. And the young men, they definitely are starting to understand the clear divide, and that they're starting to see, that the grass is not greener on the other side. It's definitely not.
Mm, that's interesting, Afiq, mashallah. It's a very good, interesting point that you make. I think, unfortunately, some men are too blinkered to kind of to see what you just mentioned, seeing that the grass is not always greener on the other side, right? And I think as men, we really need to just turn back the time and the clocks to understand that what worked when our parents were growing up should really
Yeah,
work now, and we should implement the way our grandparents kind of like raised us. Like I said, I was highly influenced by my grandfather. He was also in the military, rahimullah. He was also in the
mashallah.
military, and he always stayed fit, and even to his 80s and 90s. He used to do press ups, and he was a dominant figure within the household. Even though at that age, at that time, I was still maybe 30, 35.
Yeah,
He still played a huge impact, and he was a dominant figure
yeah,
within the household.
Yeah,
And
I
I
see
think,
where it came from.
oh, no, brother, subhanallah, so alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, yeah, definitely, I'm proud of that, akhi. I'm definitely,
Yeah,
when
of
somebody
course.
says to me, you resemble your grandfather, I'm like,
Yeah.
my chest comes out. I'm like, one of these pigeons, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
definitely. Yeah.
he was definitely a role model. And who are, in society, who do we see as role models, brother?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is, we've got like, we've got people like, famous YouTubers nowadays that they're like, they're like, uh, they're like grown-up kids. Like, they're like, they look like men, but they have a mentality of kids, and they think certain things are just funny, or it's like that's definitely not something to emulate. And we definitely need to go back to. I would even say, actually, I say this, and a lot of people look at me surprised. I think Islam is the religion for the future. It's not dark age religion. It's not thing of the past. It's actually religion for the future, because all of these troubles we are facing in society with liberalism and having role models as like weak men who are always you know uh, like always basically really wimpy basically.
Mm,
um and Islam eradicates all of these issues the society faces, in terms of like healthy relationships, partnerships, and family system. And I grew up in London. I grew up with a lot of people who didn't even know who their father was, you know
mm,
um and you can clearly see, uh, they might appear normal to you, but you can clearly see that they face a lot of psychological issues. It's definitely not normal to separate men from their duties. It
mm.
is a recipe for disaster.
Subhanallah. Yeah, definitely. We've got an interesting question from Joe Baz, and I think it's addressed to me, but feel free to chip in. I'm not a person who likes to give too many religious rulings. To be honest,
Yeah,
I don't like to give any religious rulings, but I just talk from my experience, and that's what I do as a host. Is that I kind of like to let our guests and visitors talk and so forth. But it's an interesting question. There's a question here from Joe Baz, mashallah, is who's more vulnerable, a man with a disability or a woman with I've got a little laptop,
masculinity.
but I can't even read it. So even myself, I've got a disability. My eyesight, I need to get reading glasses. So I guess it depends on what kind of disability you're on about. Somebody who's completely disabled, who can't walk or needs other type of assistance, or you're on about a mental disorder or other type of disabilities. So be more specific in your question, Joe. But I guess if a woman marries a man with a disability and she's fully aware that she has a disability, he has a disability, then the role can change. Definitely can change. But the man still, I think, has a final say. Just because the woman maybe is physically stronger at that particular time, if the man has got like a serious disability, it doesn't negate the fact that the man still has a say within the household. The woman also has a say within the household. For example, let me tell you something now, brother 187, that when my wife says something to me within my house, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with two partners. So if my wife asks me
Mashallah.
to do something within the household, I do it.
Yep.
And when my kids look at me, they're saying outside the house, you act like, I don't act, sorry, I shouldn't say the term act, I don't want you to get the wrong impression of me, that you kind of have this dominant kind of role, but within the house, you seem to be more of a cat. And I'm like, yes, because your mum rules the house. My
Yep.
job as a Muslim man is to go and earn and provide and make sure that you guys, that my children are clothed, they're fed, we got a roof over their head and so forth. And if my wife said she needs a new fridge, and she really needs a new fridge, not like update the fridge, but the fridge is broken, it's my job to go and buy the fridge, for example. So the scenario there is that definitely my wives have a huge impact
Oh
within.
yeah, they're the queens of the castle.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And like just the other day, it's like none of them work, and I don't want them to work. And for
Yeah.
for that for that, I pay a huge price, and I'm quite happy to pay the price, and I'm proud. Alhamdulillah, I'm
Yeah.
proud to pay the price that my job is to earn. You guys just look after my children, educate my children, and that's
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, Akhi?
Yeah, definitely. I am someone who will be looking to get married, inshallah, maybe this year or this coming months. And I'm always getting different suggestions. There are people saying to me, you need to marry a professional woman who works so it doesn't burden your wallet. And then I've got other, a lot of people giving different
Mm,
opinions. But yeah, I'm definitely not in the camp where that allows women to go out there to work with mixed gatherings and stuff, because I know how some of these men in power, they can act, um, and how they are, because we grew up, we saw in the workplaces is definitely not a safe place for any woman to be at, to be honest. It's just the society have pushed women into a corner where they have to make a living for themselves. Otherwise, you ask any woman, ideal situation for her would be to be the queen of the house, really, for and just enjoy herself, be with the kids, have a good time, watch her serials or movies or whatever.
mm,
Um, and no woman wants to get up in the morning and work and get their nails broken in, and shelving, or going out there working with guys who make idiot, stupid jokes, and they have to laugh just to keep their paycheck.
yeah.
Um, you know, uh, so I'll definitely not be looking to marry anyone that's like more focused on the career and this and that. I don't believe in all of that. Um, I'll definitely will be considering someone who's more of a religious housewife type of person. Um,
Oh,
uh,
mashallah. That's
yeah,
an interesting, Akhi. And definitely the last sentence you said, I think you need to marry somebody who knows her religion, and that's how you will be good in this life and the next life. For
yeah,
me, and my advice to the brothers and sisters, don't go for looks, don't go for status and so forth. Go for a woman or a sister who's religious. And when you sit down, my another advice as somebody who's mashallah, who's been through that kind of experience of marriage and interviews and so forth.
yeah.
Yeah, so always have like a list of questions when you go to meet her and her family, and
Oh,
ask her the
that's
questions.
constantly on my mind nowadays. I don't know how will I tackle this, but yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
definitely.
yeah, definitely your valued experience would definitely help me out.
Yeah, inshallah. Feel free to contact me on Twitter or send me an email or whatever, and
Yeah,
inshallah I can give you inshallah some good experience and some advice, valuable advice. Because the brothers and sisters, we normally what the brother initially said that you know some people are advising him to marry. Sorry, brother, I don't want to go too personal into your
no,
story.
definitely, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
So I definitely recommend, and this is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that a woman is married for a certain amount of reasons, but marry the woman that has her religion. And the first question I would pose, and I did oppose to my spouse, my second spouse, was that do you pray? That's the main thing, that you
Yeah,
pray. And once, yes, and what's your, regarding Tawheed and the Sunnah, if I know that person's upon the Quran and the Sunnah, then to be honest, I don't care, how she is and so forth, how much money she has, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Alhamdulillah. We've
yeah.
got friends Muslim joining us, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Wa alaikum salam,
Assalamu
brother.
alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam, brothers. Oh, interesting topic. Interesting topic. Should have arranged for some sisters to pull up on here and get their views on it also. But yeah, no. Round two might might have to
Reload.
yeah battle it out and see what side of things are
Wow. Yeah.
who
Yeah,
yep yep yep.
I was thinking of doing, like a Qibla test. So if you go speak to the girl in their house or whatever, just be like, ask them like, do you know where the Qibla is? Sometimes if they don't pray.
Wow, brother, that is true. Actually, this is what happened to me exactly. I went to visit, alhamdulillah, her family, and it was a time just before Asr. Okay, and
Yeah,
that's the reason I went there to find out is if their family prayed.
yeah,
So I got there, and alhamdulillah, they put the brani and the rice and so forth in front of me. And next question, I said, "Where's the musalla?" And
yeah,
the father took me to the location. Goes, this is the way you pray and stuff, and so forth. But alhamdulillah, and then I said, okay. Then the father said to me, okay, it's from the sunnah that if the food is made, you should eat the food and then pray.
yeah.
There's a hadith regarding that. So yeah, so then I was kind of like more a bit more comfortable, but it was a very important. Yeah, mashallah, that's excellent. Well, a friendly Muslim, how's everything? Where you been?
Yeah, no, alhamdulillah. No, I was on a phone call, having a conference call. But yeah, no, I don't know if anyone saw the. Oh, brother, the Jordan M stream last night. Brother Haroon made an appearance. So yeah, tonight at
Mashallah.
9 p.m. Eastern, he's going to be doing his first episode of Tuesdays with Haroon. Breaking news here for CovFF. But
Wow.
yeah, Tuesdays with Haroon is something that's going to be starting up, inshallah. And tonight we're going to be doing the first one. Yeah, so that was it. Breaking news. I was just on the phone to Brother Haroon, trying to just see
Mashallah.
sort a few bits and pieces out. But
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, no, it's going to be good. The brother's got a lot of good things to say, and he wants to provide knowledge, and he wants to make sure it's of benefit. Every stream he wants to do make sure it's of benefit. Yeah, I'm glad, brother.
Oh, sorry, I just clicked on that, mashallah. You're quick with your trigger finger, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love you, mashallah. I love you for the sake of Allah, mashallah.
Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
no, yes, I'm always breaking. There's always breaking news coming onto CovFF because
Mm,
our brothers always we're 5 hours ahead of America. So like obviously when the conversations take place, I bring them straight here, and we can break some news here. But yeah, no, that's going to be happening tonight,
mashallah,
inshallah. But yeah, no,
mashallah.
it's going to be good. I don't know why Jordan M. I thought last night was a good conversation, a
Mm,
good stream. Brother 187, you were there also,
Yeah.
but I think he's made it private, so I'm not sure whether it's still uploading or what. But I thought it was a good conversation that was taking place. I think we
I
covered.
missed it. If you want to just run through slightly briefly, if you don't mind. I went to sleep early because alhamdulillah, I wasn't feeling too well, so I kind of got a couple of you call it rizaya in my language, in my Punjabi, you call it rizaya. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. So I got a couple of blankets and then wrapped myself up, and I just had some medication, and I was knocked out. So if you briefly share some of the stuff what happened on Jordan M's channel.
Yeah, no, we kind of sort of touched back on because Ali Dawah had released a video about his take on things and like sort of the allegations that were made on about Mohammed hijab. So we used it as a talking point. What were the good things, what were the bad things, and uh, what are considered good and what are considered bad, and so we covered that. We covered like the protests that are going on in the UK in regards to uh, Iran, and what's going on there. Then I think the conversation moved on to I don't know, Hadith and Quran and everyone was going backwards and forwards and sharing some thoughts on it. Then I think it went on to like a caliphate. Then I think you and Triller had a bit of a conversation back and forth. 187 and Triller had a
Yeah,
bit of a
Triller.
conversation back and forth. What else was there? Yeah, no, I think it was good. And then uh, Jordan went over to EA Dower, and he's been waiting to send some eggs his way. And so I was just talking to brother Jordan, and all of his click, 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 and I'm like, Jordan, what are you doing, bruv? And all I'm seeing is these eggs on his screen while we're talking,
Allah.
because he's just going rapid fire. He's like,
Rapid fire.
yeah, he had that look in his eye. I was like, brother, we're gonna have to make you a mod there, or they're gonna ban you. One of the two, man. Let me get over there. So I was just letting them know that, look, yeah, it is the real Jordan. Make him a mod before someone times him out.
Yeah,
um,
subhanallah.
or blocks the brother because he's going crazy with the sort of sending the love.
Oh, he really committed to that.
He's been waiting. He's been waiting because I've always been. Do you know what the funny thing is? I've always accidentally been the cause of these things. Like the first time it happened, I was talking to brother. Like we were finishing the stream, and I was like, "Oh yeah, brother Jordan, yeah, they're going live now. You should send some love." And before I know it, he's like sent these. He's like, "Yeah, send some eggs." And I'm like, "No, but send some hearts with it. Don't just send eggs to people. Just send a heart next to it or something, so they know it's friendly. They don't get the wrong idea." And so like they all went, and like Issa didn't know what it was all about. So like Issa's like, "Yo, yo, yo, guys, yo, I don't know what's happening here, but y'all gonna get blocked. Y'all gonna get timed out. I'm telling you, you better behave." So Issa's going nuts at the chat basically. I'm on Jordan's stream cracking up because he's sharing his screen. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna stop blocking people, and brother Khalid's kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So I had to go over and kind of explain like, it's okay, it's sending love, everybody relax, and then I was talking to brother Khalil, and Jordan went live for one of his chinwags, and we were ending our stream, and sort of he was like, well, go and start sending some eggs over there. Let's send some eggs back to him out of love. But
I'll just block one of the sisters.
oh no, Malika!
No, I don't know if I can bring it back. No, I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. Sorry.
Sister, he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. He didn't know. I didn't give him the rules. Yeah, she's one of my mods. Yeah. So.
Sorry, sister. I'm just playing.
Rules.
I mean, you got blocked her for 5 minutes, brother. Like.
Oh no, I don't know. She probably did a refutation video against two or three of us now. We were doing subhanallah. I'm really sorry.
Commonwealth refuted. No, but yeah. So then, Jordan, we didn't realize that Jordan never got egged. He was like, nobody's ever egged me before. Is this what it's like? He's like, right, I need my revenge. And he was like, Khalil, don't mess with me. And so we've been kind of waiting that there'll be a chance when Jordan sort of unleashes his pent up, I don't know, his egg tension that he's got building up. So last night when we were talking, all of a sudden I'm like hearing click, 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 rapid fire on a mouse, and I was like, Jordan, what you doing, bro? And all I'm seeing is these eggs, these eggs for days. So yeah, no, he went. It was quite funny last night, but yeah, I think the stream is private. I hope he makes it live again so we can sort of review it. There was some good moments also. Yeah, bro, I'm not seeing Salika in the chat, brother. So is she actually?
I don't know. I can't bring her back. I think she has to wait for a couple of minutes, unfortunately.
Sister got.
I'm just a bad man. I know.
Go to my channel. It's fine. You might be blocked on Commonwealth, but you're not blocked on mine. Do some takfiri on brother Commonwealth for his mistreatment of his sister. You were just offering a boiled egg, and he's blocked you for 5 minutes.
Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. So the topic, brother, friendly Muslim, is gender roles. Do you think they really mean anything nowadays?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm quite upset that you're not in the kitchen right now cooking up dinner, brother. What are you doing here in the gym? What's wrong with you? You misunderstanding the roles? Like, what's going on? Um,
You know,
I
funny,
mean,
you mentioned that, brother. I actually do cook a lot. Alhamdulillah. Sorry, I was just playing, sister. Feel free to come back. Alhamdulillah. So, yeah, I actually do cook and stuff. I do clean, I cook, I wash the dishes. I like hoovering. I find ironing very therapeutic, guys, to be honest. Ironing, hoovering, I find that very therapeutic. So, yeah, I'm a man of many talents, you know. I'm like a hidden gem
you
without
are
like
you are a hidden gem. We had no. This is breaking news. Oh,
no
now we're all in
exclusive.
trouble. Look at this, brother. Like, oh, let's talk about gender roles, and all of us are like, yeah, start giving up the big chest, and yeah, these are the gender roles, and the brother's like a hidden gem, and like now he's
Yeah,
like, yeah, but I'm
alhamdulillah.
okay, brothers.
Yeah.
You tell us what you think.
You know,
Yeah,
actually, let me say something to you guys, and this is quite personal. That sometimes, actually, very rarely, I actually instruct my families to cook for me. Normally, I just, alhamdulillah, majority of the time, I do everything myself, and I sometimes they call me like a cat. Like if I go to one of the house of one of my family's house, and then they'll say the building. We call it building. We call it building in my language means cat. And then if I go to the other house, my wife always goes the cat's back. So I kind of like. So I can handle. I'm like that's what they call me like a cat. Like you know, I can handle. I can just look after myself. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. But yeah, guys, go on, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
it's something enjoyable also.
yeah, I find washing dishes
Yeah,
very
something I'm
therapeutic.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Get
Actually, do
ready.
you wear gloves? Do you wear gloves when you wash up, or you don't wear any gloves?
Oh no, I go in raw, mean face.
MashaAllah. Commando style, MashaAllah.
what is happening here on the stream, lads? You like literally like we're getting us all in trouble. Oh,
No,
like I find
MashaAllah,
this
this is
very
getting married soon. This
therapeutic, bro.
Actually,
Man,
family Muslim. Family Muslim,
I
we missed it. I had another exclusive just a couple of minutes ago. Brother 187 was getting that, inshallah, getting married soon. So that's exclusive. I'm getting everything on my channel, mashallah.
yeah, I mean, you might as well. Yeah, I mean, bro, you better tell them what else you find very therapeutic. A little bit of ironing, maybe. Anything else you want to sort of just put out there so people are aware that it's fine. I mean, you get me in trouble. I mean, it's like these brothers. Oh, look at the brothers. They find doing the dishes therapeutic. What about you? Now
MashaAllah.
I'm gonna have to answer questions. Um,
Tell
I
us.
yeah, I find the dishwasher very therapeutic. You know what I mean?
Oh, that takes ages, Akhi.
Yeah,
Dishwasher
um,
takes ages.
no,
turning
you're
up
definitely not
buttons
gonna
to the
wash
left,
off all the curry stains.
Uh,
turning the button off to the left, very therapeutic.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Allah Akbar. You know who wears the trousers in your house then, friendly Muslim, the dishwasher. Not you.
No, I mean, I'm playing like I don't want any flying chuckles heading my way, guys. So let's just keep it. The next thing you know, the chuckles are flying in friendly mum's direction. But no, I think I mean just since we're on the topic, I mean, fairy liquid, yes or no, or the normal brands? Anyone got a particular brand of washing up liquid that they go for? Just out of curiosity.
No,
No,
if you
I
want to,
normally go to B&M and get the fairy liquid. I think it's like £1 or something. I think the price has probably
Yeah.
gone up with all this inflation and stuff. But yeah, I think definitely, I think that even at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he used to sew his own clothes, he used to mend his own sandals, and so forth. For example, when his wife Aisha, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, when she broke the dish, when she got upset and breaking the dish, he never got angry. He picked the dish up, he cleaned up and so forth. So I think it is, within the house, I think the man has to be a particular character, and outside the house, he has to change his character. He can't be a cat in the house and out the house. He has to be a lion. He has to be proud and have some type of honor when he leaves his house.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's you know, it's a good thing to be sort of yeah. The whole debate now is washing up gloves or not, you know, and yeah, no, I think go straight in. Don't mess around with no
Yeah,
gloves,
Fairy
you
Liquid
know.
or WD-40.
Subhanallah.
Oh, how do we feel
Alhamdulillah.
about cooking? Because I think some of the best chefs in the world have all been men. You know, so I don't think there's anything wrong with men
Yeah,
lending a
men
hand
got a
to
lot of
women.
taste in their cooking. I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
some of the men and you know the uncles in you know from our sort of background, they take great pride in their you know their cooking skills and you know being able to put out the big pans and the big you know feed everybody and you know make a nice dish and everything else. So I think I think that's part of the culture also.
Oh,
So yeah, so I think yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing. What else are there that we saw when we talk about gender roles? What are we really talking about? The breadwinner? Were we talking about um, Islamically what should be going on? What are we are we talking about in modern day life? What people are actually doing compared to what they should or should not be doing? So I think there's a lot to think. I think also for women just to have skills or for, my sister like knowing I find here are some DIY skills also this is how you use a drill like fine yeah I may not be around there may be something you never know yes I can do it but maybe you should have know the basics so you're completely not unknowledgeable on what these things are and if you have to do something you know, to get on and do it. And are
Yeah.
we in an information age where anybody can learn something new very easily?
mm.
Because of the amount of information that's available.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with confident women who can handle business when it comes down to it. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. Um, if they know how to fix a few things around the house or like you said, with DIY and um, it's not always about oh no, you have to be like girly girl and I have to be the manly man. They I don't mind personally like confident women who can handle business when it comes down to it.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I think that's a form of respect when a man listens to his wife or she looks at him in a particular way and knows that you know what I need to change my thought process or what I said I need to apologize. I think that's very important. One thing I do dislike so much when a wife being rude and aggressive towards her male partner in public. For
Oh,
example,
that nah, that's a deal breaker. If I'm married and my wife did all of that, yapping away and all of it,
hmm,
I don't have patience for that. You know,
subhanallah,
you know.
subhanallah. I do see this amongst the Asian community where, unfortunately, the wife can be quite abusive. Her language and her aggression can take it up a lot, where the man
Yeah,
is too embarrassed to say anything, because when a woman unfortunately starts to be aggressive, and I think naturally women are aggressive. I think verbally they're a lot more aggressive than men, no doubt
they
about
are.
it. Physically, maybe slightly different, I would say. Yeah, guys. But I think when it comes to being verbal and being heard, I think women can be quite nasty.
Yeah, I mean, my sisters, they're married and they can be aggressive at times, but it's not like in a disgusting way. They're very
Mm,
assertive sort of way.
mm,
And if they disagree with something or there's something that they don't like, I've seen them tell off their husbands to their face, and it's not like
Mhm.
in a disrespectful manner. You can disagree in a respectful manner. You don't need to create a whole show and let grab attention from people to so you can look like this boss. This fake sense of confidence. Some women do show off. You always see like that women on the bus sometimes. I mean, I haven't been on a bus for a long time, but you see them on the bus, like they're on the phone, they're drilling into the guy, and she's looking around to see if there's people watching her drill this man down, like so she can look so cool about it. But no one actually thinks she's cool. Everyone's got that word in their head they don't want to say. They know what they have no respect for characters like that. But she's looking around. She's looking for validation. It depends a lot on the. I would say on the upbringing. I think if the father is a level-headed guy and a strong man in the house, you tend to see the women in the house to be well-mannered, well-respected, less obnoxious.
Interesting. It's a shame no sister can join us and share her thoughts, and because currently there's three of us here, and we've got our own thought process and our own experiences.
Put us in our place.
I've just messaged Medina Dawa because she's always got a good opinion also to add. So let's see if she's not busy. I sent a message.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Me too. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll stay here. Don't worry. I'll defend, inshallah. You guys are cowards. We've got a sister Hamsite in our chat.
Oh,
and,
no.
And then,
the bots have come. Are they on my chat or are they on your chat?
they're gone now. So, guys, Sister Hamsite can join us, and alhamdulillah, thank God she's somebody with loads of experience, and I love to hear her thought process and her experiences.
Yeah, definitely. And with men as well, I mean, there is a fine line between being confident and being narcissistic. A lot of men, especially, I mean, I can only speak for my community. You do find men who are generally not very, what we might call it, and they're not very confident, but they try to appear confident by shouting down the women, and you don't see that very often, so I'm not trying to, but it's you do find like an odd case here and there where the man has this insecurities, and he's laying it on the woman, and he thinks he's being a manly man, but there is definitely a fine line, and perfecting that path is very important for men. Where you don't want to be caught slipping on either side.
It is a fine line, definitely, and how we interact with, each type of individual. One thing I do notice that in my experience in the military, that majority of people in the military are men, right?
Yep.
And when we were in hostile and difficult situations, naturally our commander, our platoon, kind of like kept the female soldiers kind of like in a safe distance from harm, and that's just a natural instinct that we did. Even though they trained, the women were trained, the female soldiers were trained in the same standard and capability as us, but naturally we, as male soldiers, we did definitely treat the women soldiers, and they didn't kick off and say no. They kind of like took that kind of thing naturally. I don't know what's your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, I did. We used to have these British Army women. There were two sisters. They were in the army. I used to speak to them, and they are very confident. They never showed any sign of feeling overwhelmed or anything, and they always kept upright, and they were quite generally, if they will speak about their experiences. I never really noticed any anything that they might have said that, oh, okay, well, they felt they were being sidelined or anything like that. So I think they were confident women, but at the same time they understood their role.
Hmm. Hmm. What's this? Good question, brother. Friend Muslim, I've got a laptop. I can't really read that well because the
Yeah,
writing's really small.
yeah. My question is, how many groom and brides are willing to do premarital counseling before they get married? I think there are a few that they actually no. That's a good point because they may not. They may have just uh
Is that such a
jumped
thing?
into it. Yeah, yeah. Premarital counseling. I mean, yeah. You yeah. It's a good point. I think they do. There are.
In
I'm
Malaysia,
not
they
sure,
do,
but
and I
you
think in
do have to,
Indonesia.
yeah, do some sort of course or just go through some things about marriage before you get married. I'm not sure. That's something that was
Hmm.
it's an
To the best
interesting
of my
question.
knowledge, when I spoke about this topic, individuals in Malaysia, I think, or Indonesia, one of these two countries, they actually do a course for future spouses, grooms and brides. They actually do a pre, sorry, yeah, a pre kind of course before they actually get married, which is, mashallah, very, very interesting.
It's an interesting point the sisters made. It would save a lot of heartache in the long run. Yeah, I mean, I think there's the theory of things also, and I think there's also the practicality. I think if two individuals, yes, you kind of know, but as you're going along, you kind of review things, and how you. I've got a friend that's married. We're trying to arrange something. He said, "I can't. We're doing our 3 month review." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah. Every
Mm,
90 days we kind of review our marriage. What we're doing well, what we're not." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, what's the big deal? 4 times a year we kind of just sit down and hash things out. If there's something that's building up, it doesn't build up, and it's worked for us.
Yeah,
That we make time to have these like 90-day reviews and just see what where have we gone wrong, what we could have done better. You know, it's worked,
that's
and
interesting, mashallah.
yeah, no,
yeah. I
no, I
think
think
That's
communication
interesting.
is the key, really. To avoid any issues building up, and instead of playing silly games like, okay, well, I'm not going to answer your call, or I'm not going to warm up your food, or I'm not going to pay attention to you when you're talking to me, and all of these games, and I see people play in their marriages, and I'm just like, there's no room for any of that. um you know
yeah, it,
it,
it can it's a detriment to the
exactly.
longevity of something. Like you did this, and I'm going to do that. All right, cool, kind of get it out
It's
now.
like a chess game.
Yeah, and some couples like it. Like they kind of like the back and forth,
Oof.
and it's and it can be good, but then it can also turn toxic also.
Yeah.
Because this game of what are you prepared to do to get my attention? How far do I have to go?
Yeah.
Then also, no, I'm not calling you for 6 hours, and I'm not responding, and so that can also turn into game playing. So I think it's something that's avoided, and having good firm communication from the get go. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, you'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
mm.
Um,
What I find disturbing, brothers and sisters, that when I normally do the school run, I unfortunately always see, uh, for example, kids walking back from school by themselves, and then you see them going inside the chip shop getting their meal before they go home. So I'm in the understanding that basically there's no parents to basically pick them up from school and also cook for them when they get home. How big of an impact is that for the child? Is that a deep question, guys, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, 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 no. I think it's something to ponder on, as to the effects
No,
of.
sorry, I was just looking at something.
So is that, brother, you saying like when a child walks home on their own?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that how much of impact does it have on the child, the fact that he or she has to walk back from school and observing other children being picked up and maybe being hugged and picked, like being physically picked up, hugged, kissed, and so forth, where that child is unfortunately has to walk home by him or herself and then go to the local chip shop to get his or her evening meal and then walk home. Do you think that plays a huge impact in the child's mental well-being? And well, of course, also physical well-being because the fact that he has to eat a particular type of food that is not going to be really beneficial. Do you think that plays a huge impact on the child's upbringing?
I think depending on the circumstances also, and the type of communication. Let's say when parents working and they go to aftercare, childcare, or they're coming back and but look, the world is full of different people and
Mm,
different things. I mean, we move from traditional roles, and again, like financially also, who has to work, what, how many people have to work
mm,
in a family, and you know, um, if you really go historically as to what was in place, and women's coming into the workforce, then having to be in the workforce, that there's now two incomes in order to survive a household, and so that's needed. Then childcare is needed. Then and it can be a circle. I think that's the other issue of it, that sometimes it is the case that either two
mm,
parties may
mm.
have to work.
On
Um,
that
you know,
particular topic, brother family Muslim, I've just got a message from my, mashallah, from my, as they say, other half that I've got to do the school run in a short while, and
okay, yeah, yeah.
and then from there I've got a shopping list, so forth. But yeah, we've got a couple more minutes before we end the show. So I'd like to just like pass it on to the panelists. Brother Friendly Muslim, you mentioned we've got some events coming up today or tomorrow. Did you say?
Yeah,
And do you want to put do you want to put a link in the chat so brothers and sisters can maybe click onto it and benefit from future
yeah,
events that you've got planned?
yeah. No, absolutely. If you guys go, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to A Friendly Muslim. I am going to post the link in there. I'll let people know what's going on in terms of upcoming streams and who's doing what and directing traffic. But yeah, as we go along. But yeah, no, please subscribe. I am in touch with a lot of the brothers and sisters in this community in regards to what's going on in terms of streams. Sometimes they can give advance notice. Sometimes these things happen and develop within a couple of hours because everybody's got different situations, work situations, family situations. But everyone's really dedicated to putting out good content and good streams. But yeah, the Tuesday with Haroon's brother Khalil will be releasing one of his videos on EA Dawa, on and he's going to be doing a reaction um, video. So yeah, I mean, look, bro. I mean, if you've got to go, brother,
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
definitely gotta go.
I,
You
I've
carry on
got
with the stream, actually. You carry
uh,
on with the stream.
yeah, because I've got a message back from Sister Medina
Mm,
that she may be able to join. So that might be incoming. So if she can in the next sort of 5 minutes, then fine, we'll carry
that's
on.
great. I'll be
Uh,
back hopefully in about half an hour or so.
yeah,
If you're still on, I'll jump back on, inshallah.
yeah. If not, then I'll wrap it up. But yeah, no, no,
Yeah, no
I'll
worries.
wait up. But yeah, no. Um, for everyone, yeah, subscribe to the channel. The link's in there. And I'll be keeping everybody posted about what's
Mm.
going on. Uh,
Inshallah, just a quick one. I'm quite happy to do another stream maybe around about 5:30, 6 p.m. ish today, if it didn't clash with anybody else, and we can maybe continue with this topic, and we'll do a different time zone, and hopefully we'll get some more interaction. Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me yeah. So let me see. if she's free or not. And
Okay,
if
Assalamu
not,
alaikum
then
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, brother 187. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I've got to shoot off.
Yep.
The Queen has told me to do some things, and the King has to obey the Queen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum
Love you,
salam.
brother. I feel love. Keep safe. Don't be late. Yeah, no. Yeah, I saw the title and I thought, "Oh, am I going to get in trouble here? How dicey is it before I get up here?" But yeah, it's been an interesting discussion. Learned something new about the brothers-in-law. Didn't know
Yeah.
you're that we're. I didn't even know there was a debate, gloves or no gloves. And on the old washing the dishes, and real men don't wear gloves apparently. Which, so if you're an alpha,
Yeah.
your brother E8 is over here, Khalil. Hit the link, brother, if you want to add to the conversation about gender roles and
Yeah, you
uh,
gotta have mean face too. No gloves and mean face.
yeah. Put some gusto in it, like you're really get them curries out. Tell you what, that's part of the problem, brother. It's it's just such a tedious thing, but yeah, no, it's something that has to be done. I don't know if he's available. If he is, hit the link. I think it's pinned on my channel. I can give you the StreamYard link if you want in the comments. But yeah, if the brother's available, then it's something that's interesting. How do we feel about hoovering or vacuuming? I don't know what do they call it in America. I mean, does anyone find hoovering therapeutic? My internet connection is good. Who's this?
Yeah,
Oh, copy.
hoovering is fine until you get that the last bit. If it comes off, then you have to keep putting it back on, and it's just so annoying. That really, I don't think I think that's anti-therapeutic.
And the other question is, shake and vac or no shake and vac? I mean, what are people's thoughts on that? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Brother Khalil.
Brother Khalil is
Brother. Hoover is a company, not a verb. You can't hoover something.
We
You
hoover
vacuum it.
things all
You
the
don't
all the
hoover
time.
anything.
What
I mean,
y'all
you
talking
can hover. Like if you're really upset or scared that your kids or grandkids might end up like hurting themselves, you could be a helicopter parent and hover over them. There's no hoovering, brother.
Brother, we hover and we hoover at the same time. That's how we do it in the UK. We
Yeah,
multitask.
multi-talented.
Yeah.
How does one hoover?
I apologize that you guys are so one-dimensional that you can only vacuum.
I
That's the
brother,
limit.
we could stick with the emotional, arguments and personal attacks all day long. But can you actually engage with my argument?
Right.
You got him there.
Yeah, no. He ain't. What? Hold on. I've had my morning tea, and I'm feeling quite feisty. Yeah, we can hover while we hoover because some of us can hold the hoover in our hands and get to those tough to reach spots that some of the smaller members in the household are either women who
You
can't
can
reach.
hoover in my direction, and I will Kirby in your direction, and we'll see who wins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys in the
you
UK not know what Kirbying is?
Yeah, we know what a Kirby is. I didn't know you were going to pull out the Kirby. Like what?
Oh.
You got the wet and dry function on that bad boy, or what?
That's what typically happens in debates. I pull out stuff out of my sleeve that people had no clue that was coming.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to pull out a Kirby. I mean, we used to get those people coming in the country. Now my Hoover is shriveling at the moment because you mentioned those big Kirby's that you get in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, how is the Kirby on wet surfaces and dry? You can.
The Kirby that I had was a vacuum. It was a tile cleaner. It was a shampooer, and it was a pressure washer all in one. It was like $2,500, but well worth it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if it could do all that, then that's like a vehicle that you could have
Yeah, good
actually
investment.
purchased. Yeah. But that comes with a warranty, like a 10-year thing on that joint, or what?
Oh, 10 years lifetime.
Oh, lifetime.
Lifetime, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
On most parts, not like your filters and things like that. The stuff that you're supposed to change.
Oh, okay. Oh, fine. I did invite Sister Medina. She may be busy. To speak on gender roles.
No,
But
we would love to have Brother Khalil's opinion on the gender roles. That's definitely something that
yeah,
would be
but
really interesting.
I'd like to see him say that when Sister Medina's here at the same time, though.
No, we got to get that clip now
Yeah,
before it's too late.
His answer may sway slightly. No, but he's good at he contributes. I've seen the brother contribute to housework and well, I better not say, like you only let people know what you're happy to let them know in terms of house chores. I mean, brother,
I'm not embarrassed to say that I help my wife with cooking and cleaning.
No, that's fine.
Not really cooking too much, and it's not because I don't want to help. It's because I'm not trying to ruin anything. You put me in front of a grill, we're good. You put me in front of a stove, I have no clue how to read directions.
You turn it on, bro.
Yeah, Chloe has to hoover. She has to hoover. Make sure that I'm not messing up at all.
Hover. Yeah, no, okay, I get you. I mean, brother 187 finds it very therapeutic to do dishes, and
I can order some food like a boss, bro. I can order food all day long.
Oh my god. Any other house chores that you find maybe therapeutic?
Yeah. Other than vacuuming, actually pressure washing like the sidewalks and the back porch, that is probably the most satisfying.
Getting all the corners.
Yep. Especially when it's dark and you can just make that clear, precise line as you go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We've got a very special visitor in the chat. Brother Aladdin. Wa alaikum salam.
Aladdin. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother, look, please feel free to join. I'll put the link in. Would love your perspective on this question from your experience also. But yeah, no, if you're there, brother, please hit the link and grace us with your presence, inshallah.
So gender roles can be gender roles without the other person being 100% excluded from that. Right? So my wife can have her roles that she typically does. I have my roles that I typically do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're both cut off from helping each other with those roles. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, true. And we were
like if it's her gender role to like change diapers, right? When we have a baby, and she's like, "Hey, babe, like I'm cooking right now. I got to pull this out of the oven in 5 minutes. I don't have time. Can you change the baby's diaper?" And I'm like, "Yo, that's all you. Like that's your role. That's not me. That's you."
Straight up.
I'm gonna go over here and rake some leaves in the yard because that's my role, and I'm gonna do my thing, and you do your thing. If you got, I mean, it's your role. No, yeah, babe, I got you. I'm gonna go change the baby's diaper. If we're cutting the grass and she's standing outside watching the kids play out in the front yard, and I got a big old stick in front of me, and I'm trying to mow the lawn. Hey, babe, can you come grab this stick real quick? Yeah, help me do some yard work. Bam, there we go. I mean,
there's definitely some feminine activities, that should be left alone, because before you know it, you might be painting nails.
Yeah.
It can lead to further,
I won't be painting my nails, but if I have like a daughter, most definitely I'll paint her nails.
Oh, yeah, that's
I mean, she's going to go to school and be like, hey, my daddy paints my nails. Does yours paint yours? Okay. That's the point right there.
One thing I find really beautiful about the Muslim Ummah is because we come from all cultures, and it's like it brings all kinds of flavors, in the mix, and I find it really fascinating, that it's really beautiful, and learning from each other and different experiences. I find them to be really helpful, especially getting revert brothers from the Western Hemisphere to come and share their knowledge and their experiences, and we can learn from each other, and this is something I find really beautiful about the Ummah and all the beautiful colors in it.
Yeah. No. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's something. Obviously, there was a conversation that happened on a talk show, which I always found quite funny, and it was, it was interesting, and it went viral. I'm going to share it. It's actually quite funny, and a bit
I
poignant
love
at the
this.
same time. All right, here we go.
I hear you and I have something in common. You believe in a lot of cases that men and women have roles.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, you say it because people get
you
mad
better
when
believe
I
it.
say it.
I'm from this. Yeah, you better believe it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know you're from New Orleans. Like, yeah, well, I'm only from Jersey.
Yeah,
but I do believe that if he wants a sandwich,
you can make daddy a sandwich. No. Let me ask you this. Well, okay, let me ask you this. If me and you out and somebody say something slick to you,
you punch him in the face.
You want me to smack him in his mouth, right?
That's right.
So if I take you on a date and I say, look, baby, we gonna go Dutch.
No.
Exactly. If we walking up to the car and I don't open your car door, what do you say?
Open the door.
You better believe it.
Yeah, no, I am with you. I think
so you make daddy a sandwich.
I think well, after I get out of the shower. But it'll get done.
If I'm outside cutting that grass, bring daddy some lemonade. It's hot outside. I'm cutting all this grass.
But what's not hot is when girls call their man daddy.
All right, there we go. Yeah,
Make
so
daddy a sandwich.
make daddy a sandwich. It's a little joke between me and
Let's
Khalil.
make a public service announcement. We don't condone anybody to actually say those words. It's the purpose and the principle of what's being said that matters. Don't hop off of here. Go tell your wife, make daddy a sandwich. And then when you get kicked upside of the face or hit with a sandal, you say, well, Cove FF and Friendly Muslim and EA Dawa and 187A told me to. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, disclaimer. That was for educational purposes only, and there was another that consider it and don't do it because you might find yourself in trouble. But yeah, no, but yeah, it's something that you gotta make daddy a sandwich. But as far as men and women go, if a man is doing something, is the lesson in that just consideration? Showing each other a little bit of consideration, for the different things that we both have to do in the roles of being men and women, and coexisting. But it was. Well, what if the sandwich isn't good? Well, that's a whole nother. That is a whole topic, brother.
Gary, you get a second wife. No, I'm joking. Just kidding.
Disclaimer: the views on this panel do not represent the whole panel.
I'm not engaged with that.
And the channel as a whole.
I'm not engaging with that.
This is an example of what not to do.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Again, disclaimer in education. That's what we're all about. That's what the Friendly Muslim has to do on a daily basis. Just put out little disclaimers. Yeah, just in case. There we go. Oh, no, but I think it's a interesting topic. Something that we could also get. Oh, brother Aladeen, he's gone missing. I would have loved for him to sort of lay down some knowledge on the situation. But yeah, no, I think coming to school pickups times, and I can see the viewership dropping. I'm sure people have to go maybe collect children or cheer off. So look, we've been running for about 1:45. Inshallah, I think it's been beneficial. We've covered some good topics and had a bit of a laugh in between that. Learnt, yeah. Before we get in trouble, Salik, fighting talk hashtag second wife. Yeah, before we get in any trouble at all, I think we're just gonna wrap it up. Brother Khalil, do you want to let anybody know what's going on your today? And if anyone's not subscribed, please subscribe to EA Dawa. I
Right-
think you've got some
right
content
here,
coming
right
out
here.
today. Oh, uh, man,
You guys stop doing that, brother.
you need to. You like putting out stuff that you shouldn't be. All
What do you mean?
That one. I didn't issue a release for that one. Oh, breaking
I
news
got
and
rights
comment.
to it. I made it. I made it.
True, but you don't just get to pull it out whatever you feel like. We were
Okay,
saving
my
that
bad.
for
Indecent exposure. I got it.
man. Oh, okay. Another
Okay.
learning lesson. Right.
So
going on?
today at I think is it 2? Is it? I believe it's 2.
It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Well, it's Tuesday. I'm saying like at 2:00 today. I believe that's when it's happening.
Oh, Eastern.
2:00 Eastern, the real time.
Okay, so that's 7.
Yeah,
7
yeah.
p.m. in the UK. The center of the universe. Carry on.
Yep, we're going to be doing a debate review over a debate. Normally, when we do debate reviews, we're like agreeing with one side, but then we don't agree with the other side. Well, this review, we get to critique both sides because I don't agree with either one of them. So it's going to be Christopher Hitchens, one of the 4 horsemen of atheism, and Dr. William Lane Craig in what's called the God Debate. It's one of the hugest debates that ever happened over some of the biggest intellectual giants of their time. And we're going to be doing a review of the debate today. So inshallah, show up then. I got a lot of things in store. Like I got up this morning and started messaging some people and getting a hold of some people. And so far, everybody has gotten back to me within 10, 15 minutes, and we're all setting up dates for them to come on. I'm not going to release any names right now, but I'm very excited. So, inshallah.
Good stuff.
Inshallah.
Glad to see. Grandpong, we are coming to an end of the stream. So, I mean, if you want to quickly jump on and add something, but, we are coming to an end, so I'll bring you up. Hello.
Thank you. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. I just wanted to say, no, I appreciate you guys approaching this topic from such a reasonable, intelligent standpoint. Too often, emotion just gets thrown in and just derails the whole thing. And I just wanted to share a few of my observations. One of them is, one of the things I've noticed is the challenges that we're having in today's society, adopting traditional religions to more of a modern, realities. And it's what I'm noticing is, men used to be in charge of thinking pretty much 100%. Women were in charge of feeling 100%. And we're kind of reaching the era of the feeling man and the thinking woman. And we kind of don't know how to deal with that real well. And we sort of have to renegotiate things. And I think what you guys have done today is a big step in that direction. And just what's your thoughts on that about the feeling man and the thinking woman needing to come to terms with each other?
Yeah, I mean, maybe some people don't realize that our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, was a man that would speak to his wife. And a hadith was where they would, I don't know if you heard before, I said where I've got a friend and he does a 3-month review, of his marriage, and they have a night in where they kind of review the page and see what's going on. And our Prophet, peace be upon him, and his beloved wife Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she would say, "How is the knot in our marriage?" And he would say, "Firm and strong." And this was kind of their love language in terms of finding out, like, how are we feeling about each other, or her requesting, like, how do you feel at the moment. And he would also request feedback and know when she was pleased with him, and when something was not pleasing to her. So that sort of consideration, people kind of don't understand as Muslims, where we look at our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, lessons from his life, what we take from them. Because sometimes we're defending all this other stuff and misinformation, that these are the little trinkets that we really want to share. But yeah, no, it is about feelings. It's always been about feelings, and the partnership between man and woman, and how a man feels about his leadership role perhaps within the family, and also working with your partner, your wife, in the sanctity of marriage. So yeah, those would be my sort of initial thoughts on it. But yeah, I think it's something that's always been there. I think as men in general, um, as of, I think, the last 6 or 7 years, there's been a lot more stuff in the media about men needing to talk, and not being afraid to talk and show emotions, and when the pressure is there, sharing how you feel. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's healthy, for a marriage, for people to share their feelings. I don't know, Khalil, what are your thoughts on it?
I agree with you. I think you put it perfectly.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. 187.
Sorry, I was away. What was the question
Oh,
again? Sorry.
brother Graham Pong was just mentioning that, are we in an era where it's, men are feeling more, and women are. Sorry, Graham, could you just repeat your how you phrased it, because I'm not articulating it as well as you did.
Yeah, basically, he said that men used to always be thinking and women used to be 100% always feeling. And we're coming to an age to where men are feeling more and women are thinking more, to where we're kind of like sharing these supposed gender roles, or I
Oh, got
guess
it. Yeah.
properties.
Yeah, I think it's more of it's more of a brainwashing that's taking place. They want to knock the guy off his balance, and they have the whole agenda of pushing this liberalism and homosexuality and such. And and in order for them to do that, they have to knock the balance off, and then work on brainwashing people to think a certain way or feel a certain way. You see a lot of that in the movies being shown, or on TV, or you sometimes you even got people who's like, they're saying, oh, it's okay to cry, just cry away. And and I mean, it's okay to cry, men cry sometimes, but
I was about to say, I've cried on many streams.
yeah, I cry. Sometimes I cry. So I'll be looking
You
at
get Abdullah
YouTube
Qasim
videos.
on here, like, bro, I'm done.
Yeah. But sometimes what they do is they some people can get used to it too much, I guess. And it can have a negative sort of trait.
Yeah. I would also say on the other side, not crying and not showing your feelings can give very, very negative traits, even go highly against your mental health.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 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 Definitely agree to that one as well. So yeah, we are basically, as Muslims, we are trying to fight this, you can say, battle against this brainwashing that's taking place. People are trying to knock us off the balance as humans, and we need to bring it back to the good old days, I guess.
Well, I think
Grandpa, are you
something
still there?
Yeah. Grandpa?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened. No, I like I said, I could not agree more with, at the very least, the underlying sentiment you have, if not the words. And it's one of those where it's a matter of, I'm an egalitarian, and I'm learning under this, what's happened with critical theory is, a feminist, I'm in league with them as long as women are being oppressed. But once we hit the balance point, they leave me behind because they want women to get everything. And it's like, no. It needs to be fair. And what I've learned is like that we are all equal as people, but underneath that, we're different as men and women.
Yeah.
And we need to recognize that there's that balance. And it's what he was saying about Aisha. And that's what I wanted to sit there and give a nod of the hat, because that's so rarely mentioned that I hear, is her actual contributory role. Because that's one of those things we see in history is the best progress is made when you have that balance between a good male and a good female. When that male female is in the right balance, that's when good progress is made. And 100% agree with you guys. We are all out of balance.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to sit there and try to renegotiate. And, again, my hat's off to all of you for being so reasonable, opening up the discussion and working on it. That's all we can do.
I would slightly object to one thing that you did say. You said that women, when it comes to like oppressing and mistreatment, they want women to have it all. My question, and this is a question I had for a popular TikTok video that I just made that went semi-viral, is I see all these feminists shaving their heads because of the sister that was killed for wearing her hijab improperly, and there's like tons of energy protecting her, like not protecting her, but like supporting her. They're shaving their heads off, and there's women throwing their hijabs in the middle of the street and burning them and things like that. There's a lot of energy towards supporting this occurrence of mistreatment of women. Where were they when France and in India, in Canada, and all these other countries banned the hijab, banned women from being able to wear it? Where was the feminist energy then?
What you're doing is arguing on a fact and intellectual level. And this is what I was saying about the men doing the thinking, women doing the feeling. And we're now moving where men are doing much more feeling. We're moving more towards a balance with, like I said, the feeling man and the thinking woman. However, what they are doing is they are reacting to the feeling of unfairness. And they need that feeling of unfairness to go away. And they don't necessarily know what's going to make that feeling go away. You're a thinking person. You can sit there and say, here are the facts. Here are the reasons why I think that. Here are the things that need to change for me to stop thinking that way. It's one of those where it's like, how do you agree when a woman is being oppressed and when it's not? It's like there's a friend of mine who I lost touch with him probably about in the early 2000s. And what happened was he and his wife, we lost touch because I had just had a kid, and that tends to separate friends. And found out later, touched base with him in 2020. Apparently, his wife and 3 daughters imprisoned him in the bathhouse. They took away his keys. And when he finally found out he was delivered papers, he had talked to his wife the night before and got delivered papers that he wasn't expecting the next day. She never said a word to him again to this day. And when he talked to his kids as to the reason why all this happened, the closest thing to a coherent answer he could get from him is he was the one who always said no. He was the one who put a limit. You know, and it's like if you don't discipline kids, you know, they don't learn the limits. And that's basically what the rejection was. And it's the, if I feel I'm right, I am right. If I feel something's true, it is true. Facts don't matter. And that's the danger with what, you know, I'm just showing you, Khalil, you know, well, it's two different, it's more of two different levels. It's an emotional level of truth. And the other one is a mental level of truth. And then above that, you have a spiritual level of truth.
Yeah.
And I know you recognize all three levels. And as I sit there and say, sometimes all of them line up perfectly in the syzygy. That's when you know you got something solid.
Yeah.
If they all three don't line up, you know, that then you got to sit there and take it with, you know, various degrees of contingency, or at least I do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know that Friendly Muslim said he wanted to wrap up soon, but Grandpa, I appreciate it. No, all good. I just wanted to add one other little thing. I want to know how many people in the chat or any people on stage know exactly what Grandpa's picture is. I know what it is. I want to know how many other people know exactly what that is. Have you guys ever seen it before?
Nope. Is that
It's essentially a mathematical potential infinite regression.
Oh, I thought it would look like an intake of an engine.
Well, it does kind of look that way.
Assalamu alaikum, my beautiful wife.
I'm not a beautiful wife, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, disclaimer. 1878 is not the beautiful, although he
beautiful wife of Khalil.
Yo, Friendly Muslim, play it. You know what you got to play right
now. Mate. So, if anybody is wait, that took me off. Yeah, no, I've got to find something. But for everyone about Medina Dawah is in the building. If you haven't heard, please subscribe. We've got Brother EA Dawah here. I'm gonna hit the. Yeah, so you've got EA Dawah over here. If you don't know, please get to know. Go to EA Dawah and subscribe and hit that old link. Also, once you're there, you might want to hit another link going to a channel called Mr. and Mrs. Dawah. I repeat, Mr. and Mrs. Dawah.
Not
I'll
Mr.
repeat
Mrs.
again
Muslim.
for a third time so we don't get it confused. Mr. and Mrs. there and hit that subscribe button. Great content. Khalil, I'm trying to save you, bro. Content coming out 3 times a week. Some great reaction videos. And now, Medina Dawah. Check out her story on Muslim Convert Stories. Her video's just been released. But also go to her channel. Some very good stuff is coming on there. Some good content. Within the next sort of 12 hours from now, you're going to be seeing up there. There's some reaction videos already up there, but some good stuff coming up. And further ado, bringing onto the stage is the one and only Medina Dawah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I'm so sorry I'm late. I think the cold really finally hit me pretty hard. And I have a lot to say, but I know you were trying to wrap up, so.
No,
we could schedule a similar discussion on the Medina Dawah channel.
Yeah. I mean, I can summarize what my thoughts are very briefly.
Inshallah.
When men act like men, women don't have to.
Oh.
Yeah, that pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I'm going to say, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. There's 2 things women want from men. And we want to feel safe from the world. That's why we like bad boys. And we want to feel safe from the world, and we want to feel safe with you, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So if you offer those two things, you have a wife who submits. You have a wife who discusses roles. And the thing is when you're so stuck in this is only my job, you're not loving your spouse. You're not. Because the fact is if I see Khalil struggling with something, I'm going to help him. Similarly, if Khalil were to see me struggling with something, I would assume that he would help me. So I think gender roles, I think there's a difference between roles and responsibilities. And I think that when you go, when you understand your role, the responsibilities fall where they may. It becomes a teamwork effort. But when you understand your role, like, I know, like, I always think of the time when my husband very clearly told me no to something. And initially all of the indignation rose in my heart. And then I said, well, wait a minute. This man's intention is to love me, not lord over me. Right? But it's because I trusted that intention. Why did I trust that intention? Because I felt safe from the world with him and I felt safe with him. And I'll land my little plane there.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful plane to land. Sorry. Who was talking? Was it 187 or Graham?
No, I was going to say something along those lines anyway.
No, go on.
Yeah.
Go on, bro.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I definitely agree with Sister Medina. It's about building relationship. It's a man's job to build that sense of security and gain the trust of your partner. So you know, she's not left with any doubt or anything. You know, and then it's definitely like she said. You know, if men just acted like men, they wouldn't have to.
So stop asking
Yep.
us to raise men and y'all do it.
Ooh.
I can't teach my sons how to be men. I'm not a man.
Exactly.
I can't.
I understand. I agree with what you're saying. You also sat there and what you said, everything you were saying was really feeling. And it's like, I'm sitting there from my male standpoint. And if I'm told that I'm wrong, you know, in what I did, I can 100% accept that whatever it was I did, it was wrong. But I don't know necessarily what right would have looked like. I don't necessarily know, you know, why it was wrong, how it was wrong. And that's where the communication needs to come in.
Yep.
And for that, it needs to happen on a thinking level. You need to point out, you know, the facts, the solid ones, not just, you know, it needs to feel differently. It's like, yeah, but how do you make it feel differently? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it's as a woman and a wife, I think it's very delicate how I broach that. Because especially having a very literal, like facts-driven, literal husband. Like when I say, hey, I don't like this woman, I get a bad feeling. He's like, yeah, okay. Like she hasn't done anything. And I'm like, okay, yet, you know? So it is kind of hard to like broach those discussions. I think it requires, that you season your words with love and not ego, honestly.
And the other one is,
Sorry. Season your words with love. Wow. Yo, I need to marinate on that. That's beautiful. Sorry, go on.
I was also going to say, season your ears with love as well.
Yes.
And sit there and, you know, don't take that negative emotional reaction you have to the words as necessarily the other person's intent. You know, and that's one of what I finally clicked together, because for the life of me, for the longest time, I could not figure out what the heck mansplaining was. And
oh, you poor thing.
And then all of a sudden it clicked to me, and mansplaining is simply explaining a fact without regard to the emotional impact it has. And I equated it, and I sort of built up a little story, and it's sort of like, it's like, and this is where, women operating on feeling, and how bad it can get sometimes. And it's like, the woman goes to the bank and she comes out all upset, ranting to her friend about how that's such a mean, awful bank. They won't cash your check. And they kept saying about how you're $150 overdrawn. We can't give you any money. And it's like, so let's go to that bank that I heard on the radio. They're all nice. They talk about how nice they are. So she goes over there and sets up that one. Everything goes great for about a month. And then all of a sudden, she's calling up her friend and she's saying, that bank lied to me. All those ads are false. I need to sue them because they sat there and they were mean to me. They won't cash my check now. And they say I'm overdrawn and that's the reason. And what is wrong with these banks? Are they all awful? I'm just going to have to find another one. And do you see where the story goes?
Don't we do that with relationships in Western society?
Christians do that with churches.
Yep. I have a work call in 1 minute. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No, it's a pleasure talking to you. You're wonderful. You are wonderful.
So much.
Thanks,
Love you, babe.
Love you too, baby. Salam alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
Salam.
All right. So that was our beloved sister, Medina Dawa, again confirmed as Khalil's wife. So again, we've been able to make sure that no one is confused as to whether 187 was part of this dialogue. It's been confirmed that Medina Dawa is the wife of Khalil.
And we also need to confirm it's Mr. and Mrs. Dawa.
Yeah.
Dawa.
Yeah, because there's some guy on the internet keeps saying something else, and I keep trying to correct him, but
I'm
he's
just
a bit wrong. Anyway,
really
moving along.
And I would like to point out that Mr. and Mrs. Dawa are one of those examples of those very well balanced, successful male-female partners that I was talking about earlier.
Thank you.
A lot of communication. I mean, speaking as a friend and as a brother, but I think we all agree that communication is very, very vital. And especially when Khalil is a debater, and somebody that likes to debate. So he wants the exact words listed as to what's going on. So no, they're a great example of communication and always working on communication.
Yeah, you see a lot of sorry.
Sorry.
No, you see a lot of maturity in their relationship. I mean, I don't mean to get too personal, but you see a lot of they're very mature, standard people. So, and on the other side, you have media and pretty much everything else forcing this immaturity, that being immature is cool and being immature is more fun and free, and they're masking that being cool as being immature, and they're pushing that out, that narrative, which is getting to a lot of young people, and sometimes it's taking them a long time to realize and understand that being mature is where it's at, really.
No,
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
I'll admit here that I'm also very immature too. Like last night, I had a nice during my stream, I had a nice big old glass of chocolate milk, and I like wrestling and video games. I'm a kid at heart, but I know when it's time to take care of business, you take care of business. I know when it's time to turn on the kid, that I can turn it on, and actually that can be very beneficial when it comes to like fatherhood, is because you assert yourself as, hey, I'm the standard of this house. Like you obey and submit. Why? Because I've given you justifications for why I'm telling you to do what you do. I'm not just doing this for my own health. But at the same time, this father figure who's telling me to do this and this and this a very specific and certain way, and won't get off my case until I get my room clean and I do all this stuff, is now rolling around on the floor, wrestling with me and doing these things. There's a balance to this also when it comes to just like looking at the father itself, the father and the husband. There are there are roles within himself that have to be dispersed and placed in different sections and be used at certain times. So, and I mean, I'm sorry if I'm trying to make like a PowerPoint spreadsheet out of this, but that's the only way that my brain works.
Oh, no problem,
no.
Khalil. I'll sum it up for you. Wisdom equals balance.
Mhm.
It's like you are a fabulous debater, but I'm willing to bet there have been some debates you've intentionally not won because winning would have been worse than the course you went down. And that is wisdom.
Yeah.
And that's
Ooh,
usually
yeah.
learned from having gone down that path a time or two.
Absolutely.
As said from somebody who walks in shoes very close to yours.
Yeah, on
All right,
that
Brother
note,
Friendly.
peeps, yeah, let me just do a quick outro. I think this is a great stream that we can carry on in the future. Possibly on Medina Dawa, or on one of the channels, and get that cracking again. But if you're new from the COB FF side, my name's Friendly Muslim. I'm also on YouTube. Khalil, you want to do your voiceover work?
We have Friendly Muslim here with the Friendly Muslim Trinity. We have the Friend Zone and Friendly Muslim chats attached to it. So when you go to the Friendly Muslim page, you hit that subscribe button and you hit those notifications. Then you see the little Friend Zone up there in the corner. You hit that. You go over to there, you hit the subscribe button, you hit the notifications on that too. Same exact thing. And then there's another little red play button. It'll take you over to Friendly Muslim chats. You hit the subscribe button, do the same thing over there. Ain't that the thing? And then go over and check out some of his videos. And then he ends it early while I'm still sitting up here, basically eating my microphone.
Oh, well, you've done a great job. So thank you very much. But yeah, no, go on there. We've got interviews. We've got some of these debates and open panels on there, and a lot of stuff coming up. But if you're from the COB friends and family zone, or from the Friendly Muslim Project, come on over to our brother here, another beloved brother, COB FF channel, who's also broadcast and sponsored by a Bear Beard. But come on over here, hit the subscribe button, and join the link. We go live together. He'll be having interviews going on, lots of good stuff. He goes down to Speaker's Corner. So there's a lot of good stuff from Brother Mohammed also. So on that note, people, I think it's been great sort of bouncing around of ideas and thoughts. Sprinkle with love. Sprinkle your words with love. That's a great takeaway. And and also listen with love. Also, I think that was a great point. But yeah, no. Until the next time, Brother Haroon, look out for EA Dower. Stuff is going out. But yeah, in terms of live, as far as I know, Brother Haroon will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern. A bit late for the UK, but I know a lot of you are up late also. So inshallah, we'll see you then, and look out for EA Dawa. His videos are coming out shortly. Until the next time, assalamu alaikum and peace and respect to everybody.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.